What's up, guys? Today I'm getting to spend time with this beautiful spec'd out Lamborghini Huracan Evo. Such a lovely spec on this one. Not everything is factory here. For example, quick disclaimer, there are Novitec spacers, Novitec lowered springs, a Novitec rear wing, and also this part right here is the Novitec carbon fiber with the Novitec badge as well. And that's all. Other than that, the car is stock. As always with Lamborghinis, they always do have a presence, and this Evo is no exception. I'm really a sucker, and I love the slits and edges and knives. Like, Lamborghinis are meant to be just great looking supercars, and the Evo and the Performante, I think, kind of, well, the Performante before the Evo and then the Evo, they kind of brought that back compared to the 610, the previous model. And I love the fact that this one actually does have the same power as the Performante, which is up to 631, well, let's say 640, compared to the 610. So that's something very cool. I know the Huracan Evos do not come with a wing, but I do love the addition of this carbon fiber Novitec wing, because I love the look also of the Performante, and this car came after the Performante, and the Performante is the most track focused Lamborghini at the moment, the Huracan, from the Huracan range. This one is, I think, the most adaptive Huracan. This is the car that's meant to be the do-it-all car from Lamborghini. This thing is very pretty to look at. Ceramic brakes, calipers painted to match the body paint. The interior of this car is actually really cool. I'll give you a little look around the inside. Again, the blue to match the exterior. Leather, so basically it's two-tone. Always beautiful stitching. Lamborghini does do amazing work with regards to stitching. I mean, the Italians always do a great job with design. Just one thing to note with the Evos, I love the design of the front air splitter. Lamborghini does say that this basically increases the aerodynamic downforce 4 times more than the basically previous generation Huracan. Okay, so let's take it for a spin. What I love about the new Huracan Evo is the clever computer system basically behind this car that makes this car really interesting and different feeling from other Lamborghini Huracans. Is the fact that it has a system called the LDVI, which in Italian means Lamborghini Dinamica Veicolo Integrata, which is basically the computer that combines the stability control with the four-wheel drive system, with the magnetic adaptive suspension, plus the rear-wheel steering, plus it gives, it's always calculating and predicting what the driver is going to do based on steering input, throttle input. But not just that, it also calculates crazy things like yaw and pitch, and probably, I don't know, what's your favorite color, and how old were you when you had your first kiss, things like that. It's just crazy how many things this car knows, and it just keeps predicting and adapting to whoever is the driver behind this car. One of the reasons I really love this car and love the way it's set up is, one, because for the first time you have a Lamborghini infotainment system. This is not Audi's older system. So far from my use, it's not bad, and it's finally, you can say that I have a Lamborghini and it has a Lamborghini system inside it, because we all know that the previous models were all Audi. It's differently made to how the Germans do it, but still it's progress. It's a start for Lamborghini to have their own infotainment system. Yeah, I mean, and it really does tell you everything you need to know about the vehicle. There we go, that's the LDVI that I was talking about, and you have it. Look, it just, so many things to calculate. It's such a clever system. This is really a clever piece of kit, and it does feel like it. When you are driving this car, you feel really light on your feet, and you really feel like you want to push more. I know it's not the track focused Huracan, which is like the Performante, which is their track focused one, but still it has a lot of cool features in this car. This car is probably the most clever Huracan produced so far. With regards to the buttons and things you have here, you have the windows, you have the traction, you have the flashers, you have the front lift system. It's getting a bit hot. Okay, so as you can see the gauges right now, because I have it in Corsa mode, it's very like aggressive. Go back to sport, we get these like yellow orange dials, and then you go back to Strada and you get the blue dials. And even if you can hear, when you change between Strada Sport and Corsa, the RPM goes up and up and up. And the gauges, they're super cool. Lamborghini always has that wow factor, and this hasn't changed with the Evo. If anything, they did a great job. They kind of preserved it. And the seats, man, the seats are super comfortable. Really comfortable seats, and such a cool car. It's insane how many things this car can predict and adapt to the driver. So when I said this is a really adaptive Lamborghini, it really is an adaptive Lamborghini, and it feels that way. When you drive the Huracan Evo, it feels a lot lighter than the standard Huracan, the 610. Not just because it has an extra not just because it has an extra like around 30 horsepower or something, but also the rear wheel steer assist and things like the magnetic suspension, which were options on the previous Huracan. These are now standard on the Evo. So yeah, let's go for a drive. Safety first. Even in Corsa, it's really smooth to drive. Not that you want to drive it smooth in Corsa, but let's say we put it in sport now. I love how every single one has a different gauge. Like your blue now for Strada, and then you go to yellow in sport, and then when you go to Corsa, it just completely changes to full RPM dash. I love that. Okay, so we're not on private roads anymore, so I have to drive respectfully. I'm gonna go back to my private road area. But yeah, honestly, this thing does feel super light, and the rear wheel steering makes such a big difference when you drive. Yeah, in Strada, honestly, it feels like a daily car. It feels like it's easy to drive, very comfortable. The seats are super comfortable. Such a cool car. It's amazing how most of the new generation supercars can handle the roads so good. Okay, we're almost back to the private roads, so I'll put it back in Corsa. Does sound really nice. I mean, I am a sucker for V10 noises, so I'm not surprised that I do like this car. Even though it's a Huracan, it's still very different. The steering, the way it corners, the nimbleness, how it feels. It just feels like a really, really light Lamborghini. It's a very, very clever system in the car. You can feel it working with you. Depending on what kind of driver you are, that might be a good thing, but it also might be something that you don't want all the time. But to be honest, when you're driving this thing fast on mountain roads, things like that, you feel more secure, but you also feel a lot more capable. It doesn't feel like a four-wheel drive car sometimes, because the four-wheel drive system is really clever. When it just shifts and transfers all the time. But yeah, let's go over there. There we go. I love the fact that the brace also, if you can see here, the brace is painted blue to match the car, the color of the car. Really interesting specs. I'm really impressed with how the rear wheel steering works on this car. It's really nimble and really responsive. But yeah, very impressed with the Evo. This is, if I didn't mention, this is the four-wheel drive Evo. As we were talking, that it has the clever four-wheel drive system. They do make the Evo in a rear-wheel drive version as well, and I do love that car as well. I really love that car. The four-wheel drive version, I think, is more of a do-it-all car. I wouldn't be taking the rear-wheel drive version out much, let's say in the rain or snow. This car, whether it snows or rains, you're pretty much safe from all angles. And like I said, because of the LDVI brain unit, or whatever you want to call it, in this car, it's just really, really clever and works well. The fact that we're in 2020 and cars can be this adaptive, because I remember back in the day where a car would basically adapt to the driver based on their throttle input and their steering input. With this car, it's literally doing hundreds of calculations every second. Like, it's calculating hundreds of variables every single second. Man, Lamborghinis are just so amazing with the way they do the lines and the art, the Italian design, the way their knifey edges pop out and things like that. It's really iconic for Lamborghini, and I'm so happy to see that in the new Evo they didn't preserve that for the Huracan. They actually made the Huracan better looks wise. I really love that front look, and my good my good bro Mario, the owner of this car, is actually thinking about getting the carbon fiber front splitter, which is absolutely amazing because it has all the carbon on the back. So to have the front carbon as well, I think it would go really, really well with the car. I am happy to say that this car does have the power from the Performante, which is the 640, or technically 631. So it has been, and that's with regards to the induction system. They did some changes to the induction system, and I love the front look of this car. Kind of reminds me of the Super Trofeo. This is the best so far from the Huracan range in general right now. The more track focused one which is coming out is the Super Trofeo Omologato, which will be coming out hopefully this week, and we'll get to see more news on that. Even this lip over here, this one, is set to increase downforce by such a significant amount, and I do believe it. It's kind of a, I hope it shows in the camera, but it's kind of an aggressive angle. It's like a little ducktail that it has over there. And the diffuser of the car over here. I love also that it's painted matching the OEM. This is all factory. Would be interesting to hear this car with an exhaust, but to be honest, it doesn't need it. I'm a fan of aftermarket exhausts myself personally, but with cars like these that are really sounding so beautifully, you don't need it. If you want to go all out, you can opt for one, but with a car like this, you really do not need it. I'll show you also one more thing, which is the front space, because I like to own a car like this. You do need to know, you don't really think about space when you own a car like this, but in general it's good to know what you have. And this is the space that you have. Obviously you can put the cover, you can put the car cover, you can put other stuff, you can put a trickle charger, things like that come with the car, med kits, whatever you want or whatever comes with the car. I'm not gonna go into it now, but yeah, but it's just interesting to see the hood space, or bonnet space as you say in England. But I also love the fact that this is a German supercar. Realistically, the mechanics underneath, the engine, the gearbox, the transmission, everything is German, and that kind of gives you comfort because you have that stunning look, but you also have the German engineering to back you up in terms of reliability and things like that. I wouldn't compare it to the driving style of a 720S, which is a turbocharged bullet, and it doesn't have the front end bite of the GT Porsche cars like the GT3 and GT2, but it's its own league. I wouldn't compare it. It doesn't need to have those things because it's really the supercar so far that I can see in 2020 that can do everything without hesitation. It is super comfortable in Strada mode. I'm very, very surprised, and to say that on a Lamborghini of any generation is just impressive. The suspension in this car is really made a big impression on me, and the only thing I would compare it to is the Performante or the LP610, and I'm also comparing it to the R8 V10 Plus and V10 Performance. This thing really is very impressive. I'm used to R8s, for example, being the smoother cars than the Lamborghinis, but it's very interesting to see that in the Evo they really did a great job. It's like combining the best of both worlds. It's like combining the best of the Audi R8 and also the best of the Huracans. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I really do think this car is a stunner. The color of this thing, and again, I love seeing exotic colors such as this on exotic cars. I personally am a black or white person with regards to color on cars, but sometimes, man, some colors really just impress me, and this is one of them. Super, she is so sexy, really, a very, very sexy car. It's been lovely spending time with you, baby, and now it's time to call it a day. Sun is going down, and I think this just looks beautiful in the sunset. Just a gorgeous piece of machinery. You can see why a lot of people like me that love to drive cars kind of give them names, because You get so attached to these cars. Say it's right, say it's wrong, I don't care, but we do. People who love cars so much get pretty attached to cars, and they don't become machines anymore. They become more like living beings that are like a part of your family. I know it's weird, but that's the truth. That's the reality of it. So